Good evening, everyone. We have another episode of Team Overview for the World Cup. This time around, we have our friends from Russia, and their team leader is Sergey. So please introduce yourself, the team.
Hi everybody, I'm Sergey Selin, so the team leader of the Russia. I would not say I'm a captain, so I play Thrones for 3 years. Started with Starks and play mostly them, but all the other factions. So yeah, I represent Russia together with my teammates. Um, I would say we have small meta in Russia, but everyone's passionate about the game.
Yeah, we've met you guys at Starek several times, and we played in the team events together. So versus
Yeah,
each other, but yeah, always a pleasure and happy that we getting more and more diversity.
yeah. So this time a lot of different countries joined.
Yeah, although there are less to the World Cup this time around, there is a little bit difference. I mean, other people joined, other left.
Yeah, yeah.
Sad to see the Italians going because I know they were very competitive, but still. Wanna tell us about your experience last time? What are your expectations for this time around?
So last time we managed to scrape into top 16 somehow after first two losses. So we were fighting in the bottom half of the table last time and then got two straight wins, and then the third game we played, so the opponent was not that much keen on fighting on because they already had no chances, but somehow we scraped into top 16. So this time around the expectation is just to repeat it at least.
Great. So how did the drafting of the players go this time around? Did you? Is it the
So
old
basically,
team? Are there
yeah,
new
it's
players?
it's 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 an old team. Like every person played last time in the World Cup. We made some changes between faction assignment and these things, and changed our uh, so deputy and the regular player. So, but this is the same crew, so they know what the World Cup is.
Experience is key, I think.
Yeah.
Then, what do you think about the ban and restricted list? How did it affect you guys?
um, so in our team, it was quite positive that we got a ban restricted list for this specific tournament because we have to, if not build a new decks, but we have to adjust, and there is some refreshment, so we cannot just copy the last superpower deck and use it here. So it's in general positive. Though me and Victor, for example, think that the ban list in general is not a very good not very good for the game, because yeah, everyone wants to use the cards.
So you're from the people that like to use all the overpowered cards.
No, we can just restrict them in the meaningful way. So restricted list is good, definitely. So I'm not sure that there is a card yet in the card pool that deserves the outright ban, but it's a philosophical
Meddling.
discussion.
Meddling.
um,
I can tell you right out, meddling
Meddling.
deserves to be banned.
Uh, but does it see a lot of play while on restricted list now?
I mean, yes, because it works with other restricted cards. So as you see, the ban list, for example, that's my thought is, I like it. I'm sick of
Mm-hmm.
seeing shadows. I don't have problem
Mm.
with the military that much from the Dothrakis and stuff. It's a fresh approach, I would say, although not that fresh. Francis showed to the world how strong that deck is. I'm not fan of boring decks, and all those two decks are boring. So in my mind, it's good. Also, I have to take less about them.
Yeah, in this World Cup, the ban of these two agendas is quite good. Yeah, there is also an option to play aggro decks, for example, from other agendas, and yeah, so it's good.
Then how did you approach the agenda and faction combination? Was there an agenda that we have to play this? Was there something that was not worth considering? Also, the limit of agendas this time around, how did it affect the deck building?
So the limit did not have much influence because everyone had. So first, from for agenda faction assignment, so we managed to get just enough people to play. So it's 9 people plus 1 deputy, and among these people, we everything fell nicely into places. Like the factions got assigned to people that wanted to play their factions, or they prefer generally to play these factions. So we did not have to fight between each other. And then as for agenda, yeah, I remember there was some debate who should take crossing, me as a start player, or then we decided that the Tyrell player will take star crossing. There is no Barak Kohor in our group because our teammate did not felt he needed it, or just did not felt to did not felt at ease playing this agenda, so he decided to take Summer,
Oh,
for
yes,
example.
that is
But yeah,
that is definitely. Is the meta full of royalists, by the way? That's an interesting.
once again, please.
Are there many faction loyalists in your meta? So, for example, when we see people from other countries, examples, if we see Dave Bamford, I know he's playing Martel. If I see Donovan, I know he's playing Martel. If I see James, I have no idea what he's playing, but for example, Joy is playing Targaryen usually. Is that something in, considering the small meta, probably you're trying to cover all the factions pairs, like chosen, or it's full meta, for example, Starks?
Yeah, each one from our players has some preferred factions, as I said, and we quite specialized. I wouldn't say that we are faction loyalists, everyone, each of us, but we play in general different houses, but there are some preferences. So if I know that, for example, Oleg is very good at Tark and he wants to play Tark, so we decided that he should take it. And there are some decks, for example, Victor played a lot the Lenny White book recently, so he went for it. So yeah.
Okay, then how did you choose your Mystery Knight? I know an interesting story about that.
Into Mystery Knight. So basically, we gave our Mystery Knight the freedom of choice. So it happened like that. We have somehow split all the factions and agenda, and he was free to choose whatever he wanted. And so Michel, he just wanted some aggro stuff, and he went for Stark Knights of the Hollow Heel.
I know he contacted one of our players for his build.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for
maybe
permission to use the
Atanas
build.
or...
Yeah, Atanas. He talked to Atanas.
Okay. I saw that Atanas had a very good list on Thrones DB for Knight of the Hollow Heel.
Yeah. We have two different Knight of the Hollow Hills in Stark. We have one for Martel, we have one for Nightwatch. Our meta likes the agenda a lot, but yeah. So Atanas helped the enemy. But I saw his list in another country, so good lists.
So we may not cross paths.
We'll see. Then any particular order assignment? Did you try to figure out what people will do, or is just too much of a headache?
No, I just went to random.org, selected the list randomizer, and that was it. So I don't know if it's worth to metagame the order of the factions and players, because I don't know how to do it and if it will have an effect. So I just went for the simplest solution.
Yeah, Makes sense in most cases. So now we're gonna jump to see what your decks look like, what changes you made to Atanas list.
Okay.
Because I know our list almost by heart, so and what we, especially what we played in Stalik, because we tested like crazy this year, and we performed, I think. So first is the Baratheon list. So Baratheon Kings of Summer, not Nightwatch Kings of Summer. That's interesting choice.
Yeah. So, Barasama. I also told that our player Dmitry, he was not did
Comfortable with
not want
Kuhor.
Kocher because he did not feel like at ease playing Kocher, so he chose another option that that was that he was comfortable with. So he's I would say Bara loyalist to the most degree. He can play other houses, but mostly playing Bara. So it was it was his task to prepare a good list. Yeah.
The list looks actually I'm not fan of it because IKEA setup. But other than that,
Yeah.
Great Hall makes sense. I like to see Fury of the Storm robot. It helps all the different situations, and he's just that versatile.
Yeah, there is some control here with the Saving Kingdom, Palace of Sorrow stuff. Maybe an other agenda would fit better, but yeah, we are not so try hards to metagame the agendas, I would say.
Yeah, it could be looked in that way. So anyway, still a very interesting call. Baratheon needs a little bit of economy because their economy sucks, but not in this list.
Yeah,
Precisely.
yeah. Here there's quite a lot of stuff
There
to
is,
help it.
yeah. Next is Greyjoy Winter, the other King's agenda.
Yep.
So why
So
Winter?
yeah, Igor plays this deck for quite a long time, so he's very familiar with the Kings of Winter, how it plays. Yeah, I see. You see also bonus points for Fish Whiskers,
Definitely. Bonus points for
and
Fish Whiskers.
yeah, he told us in the chat that it helped him sometimes really well to overcome the opponent because he has all the winter plots except for Valor. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely one of the. It looks like it has a little bit of everything. I don't know if it suffers from the coherency, but it looks pretty solid to me.
He has some good results with it during the testing, so there is some discard stuff, shenanigans here, let's say,
Oh yeah,
some
definitely.
general good stuff, Greyjoy. So it does not go fully on the choke thing or something like that, so it's mostly good stuff, Greyjoy with
Yeah. We
Pillage, yeah.
we saw in Starek this year Gumas from the Greek team showed pretty prominent in the cut with the deck. But still, yep, it's a solid choice. I wouldn't say it's the first two choices for Greyjoy, but still a close competitor. I'll tell you
Yeah, I
that.
guess that the thing that he's very familiar with how it plays is a great help. So
Next we have one new white book.
mhm.
So looks like the crossing didn't went neither to Greyjoy nor to Lannister.
Yeah. So
So
white book, it's Victor's choice, Victor Nilipovich. So perhaps you met him at Stalik.
yeah, I know him.
Yeah, and he was very keen to play white book, and he also played it for quite some time in the last couple of months. So he has here some shadow tricks, some jumping all around, and yeah, I think a lot of people were very down on this agenda when it came out, but afterwards it is at least playable. And
I'll
yeah.
just quickly pull my stats for a second and I'll tell you exactly how playable it is. Because I know how many
Okay.
people, I have a statistic how many people play white, how
Okay,
many
great.
teams have played white book, so give me a second. White book. How is it the full name? I have the whole here. The white book, 8 teams, so almost a little bit under half are playing white book, so
Mm-hmm.
it is like the 5th, 6th agenda. I mean, crossing beats everything, so yeah, in terms of play. So yeah, a very interesting choice. No restricted card. At least I don't see one.
So many would think that the red keep deserves restriction, so it would be it. But otherwise, he decided he could not fit just for the sake of having a restricted heart here, so decided to go without.
Looks like there are not that many high costers here, so great hole doesn't make sense actually.
So I guess the most high costers that jump through the white swords plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, Martel. So if Victor is piloting the one, who is piloting the Martel, wasn't he a Martel loyalist? I recall playing with him. He played Martel.
Yeah, exactly. So Victor is more known to other players as a Martel player. So, but this time around he wanted to play Lani Whitebook.
Okay, so then tell me about the wars to come. What make this different?
So in the last tournament, Andrei Volkov, who plays Martel Wars, played Lannister, and he wanted to play Martel, so it was a mutual like agreement between him and Victor. So now Andrei plays Martel Wars. So what can I say about Martel Wars? It's it's all about Doran's game, yeah. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
it's quite standard, maybe
I mean, looking at the
plot
list,
choice, maybe.
there are some interesting plot choices. You decided to keep exposed duplicity in the plot. A lot of other countries consider that not to keep it.
Mm.
So, considering the shadow was banned, why was that choice made?
Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, about exposed duplicity. Maybe he Andrei could cut it. So he told me that he was not sure about some selections. So maybe it would take some refinement, but yeah.
It definitely is missing the standard. I mean, the pod deck is what's different here. If I look at the characters, it looks exactly what you expect, but the pod deck here is completely different from a standard
Mhm.
Martel Wars list. So yeah. If it's gonna make him feel better, I forced our Martel player to keep the exposed list. So
Okay, great.
that was in our we also didn't expect a lot of shadows, but for that one
Mhm.
shadow matchup that you randomly run to, it could be just I win this turn, and
Yeah, I guess
nothing you can do about it.
some shadow players could have migrated to House with the Red Door or Ben a Lion or something like that. So it may be occasionally useful.
Interestingly, it's Banner Kraken that they
Banner
all
Kraken.
moved to,
Oh,
not Wyan or Terrell. So everyone moved to Banner Kraken.
hmm. Okay.
Next is your Mystery Knight. That list looks exactly familiar, although changes are made to it.
Yep. So it was Michel Matveev. He worked on the list. So we actually had discussion about the card choices here, but the final decisions he took it by himself. So he was in two minds. On one hand, he wanted first to go without loyal characters completely, just to abuse the Hollow Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, use Begging Brothers to the full. So then So maybe under my influence or some, he decided to include Wyman because I think Hollow Hill can spit out the hand fully on the table and then stay without the draw, and maybe Wyman is not a bad choice here anyway.
Yeah, I mean Wyman is still very good, and he's not on the list. He didn't make our list.
I was really surprised that he's not there.
Well, the organizers are trying different things, so probably makes sense. So then, why was the marriage pack cut? The original deck has 3 times marriage pack in it, 3 times size and 3 times sword. So why was the marriage pack cut?
So we thought that Ramsey would better, together with March, would better get rid of big guys, and the small guys could be warded. So I decided to go that route.
Okay. Oh, fair. Next is Nightsword Banner of the Wolf, another attrition deck.
So Artyom
This looks more
likes
like
to play attrition. Artyom Fomichov likes to play attrition, as far as I get, and that was the best he could do with the Banner of the Wolf. Of course, Ward would be better here together with Yoran, but since both are restricted, he went for Yoran.
As someone who played last year Stalek, not 2019-2018, I do not like this list for several reasons, but yep, but that's my own choice. I think Ward is better than Yoren here because the small Yoren is loyal. So that, but then you cannot play Breaking Ties, it's too restricted still. I think Ward is better, it's cheaper as well. But yeah, still a very solid choice. Few takes are missing that I would like to see. To go the full attrition route with Hardcone, for example. Yeah, else we know how good Ramsey is, we know how good the bottom players are, so yep, a good solid choice. So why not builders? That's the question here.
It's Artyom's playstyle to be more aggressive. He played a lot of Night's Watch Kraken, but with the choke last time, so with restrictions, it's not very good at the moment, I think.
Maybe.
So he decided to go for Banner of the Wolf. I guess he just does not like builders. I may ask him. I just.
Okay. Next we have Stark Fealty. So.
Oh, it's quite standard, I would say, the deck I play.
Let me see. There is no Morgulis in it. But that's my personal feeling. Every deck should have Morgulis.
So here I have a big cat, and so the idea is to use Wildfire Assault sometimes as the power gain and board reduction. It's not a full reset, but I would say my game plan is to gain renown and passive power on her, and control the opponent as much as I can with the events and attachments.
Okay.
Yeah. So. I wonder if you see here a small mistake I made, but
there are 61 cards.
No, this may be a preference, not a mistake. Actually, I used here last half scouts, and my preference is Mirror Read.
Oh.
So I noticed that after I supplied the list.
Actually, that's not that bad. You don't need. I mean, you'd barely do challenges with Mira. You need her for the other shenanigans. So blocking.
So the 2 games I played, I did not have problems yet with it, but in general, there can be. Yeah, I guess just using Mirror for the blanking is not bad at all.
Awesome. And you can always sacrifice them for Wyman, so.
Yeah.
If they're getting the way. Next, we have Valyrian Steel. So, why Valyrian Steel?
So Oleg had already a deck at his hand, and he's, I would say, Tark loyalist. So as he did not play much Thrones before the tournament, he went for the well-practiced deck and just made an adjustments for this deck according to the tournament restricted ban list. So, and this is a quite powerful agenda. I guess Night's Watch and Tark are the best with Valyrian team.
Our player with the, I want to say, less experience, because he doesn't play that often, but he plays for like since first edition, way before me, so I cannot say him with less experience. We just gave him one Valyrian steel, and he's currently 2-0 with it. So
That's wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah, people
it's
see a
a
lot of cards
very
playing this
very
deck.
flexible agenda. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So we didn't actually work much on this. I mean, together. So he made changes by himself, and yeah, fully convinced that were correct changes, because he, as far as I remember, he plays Stark every time. So fully trust him to.
Okay. Honestly, no surprises here, considering how strong Gifts for the Widow is. So each key attachment is 4 times in the deck, as I said in all the previous interviews. And
Yeah,
Nexus,
that's a nice toolbox.
yeah, and last but not least, as always, Tyrell. Why Words of the Crossing? I mean, how did it end up all the way here?
So as I said, there was some decision who should play Crossing. So Alexander worked on this list. Just fits his play style. He wanted to be fast enough, and I guess he just didn't find a lot of quite a diversity for the Tyrell, I guess.
Okay.
Though a lot of stuff was unrestricted. It would take time to figure it out. I saw a lot of Tyrell Dragon decks, but it takes some practice to master them. And this has a pretty straightforward game plan, and yeah, it's
My only question here is actually I'm not huge fan of a rush decks, but here, why did you opt for the? I mean, I see the House 4 and Knights are 3 times in the deck, but why did you opt it for 2 times at the Past of Sorrows instead of 2 times turning for the King?
So Tourney for the King is usually a closer when the players in the range of winning, and the Palace of Sorrows is just the control that as much control as we can have in the
Rush deck.
crossing deck. Yeah, you know, some some characters hurt this deck a lot, and being able to get rid of them with this little combo of the Palace of Sorrows and HFK is great.
Also makes all the chapters the same strength through the challenges, so.
Yeah, there is some guys here like Mr. Balabar, for example, who could get someone out of a challenge based on the strength. Mayor and Heat and Tourney Lance. So Tourney Lance in practice, it makes attacking on the turn for the Palace of Sorrows like undefendable, because just
I mean,
there has to be one defender.
Yeah, you win the challenge
one
definitely.
attacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so I mean, pretty interesting choices of agendas. Definitely different from most other factions.
So yeah, the main thing for us was that the player is comfortable with the deck, knows how it works, and so we made these choices. They may not be the best, I say, but yeah, it's the main thing is to have fun and to be comfortable playing the game.
Yeah, that's definitely true for the smaller metas. It's an approach that we also took, so better our players feel comfortable and then we just fill the spots where it was necessary. But yeah, solid approach. Any closing words?
Okay, I just want to thank the organizer, Anil, and the people who helped him for the great tournament last time and this time. And also thanks to you for streaming games and for creating this media around the tournament.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you guys for joining to the stream. In half an hour we have another interview, this time with Team Hungary. And we'll see how they took their approach as well. Thanks for joining me.
Okay, thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye.